Hi guys, I am Lances. I'm going to walk you through how to set up Webpack with React, as well as including useful plugins such as Prettier, ESLint. In a later part, I will also show you how to implement code splitting to optimize your web performance. Let's go! So many of you decided to learn how to set up Webpack because of various different reasons. It might be because you wanted to know more about Webpack so that it will be much easier when you are using Facebook boilerplate, the CRA, or it might be because you wanted to set up your own custom Webpack configuration with React. So I hope that after this video, it will give you a much better understanding of Webpack. First, we will click on the extension and install two important plugins for Visual Studio. First is ESLint, which helps you to autocorrect your JavaScript syntax error. Second is Prettier, that helps you to format your code more readable. So once you get these two plugins installed, go back to Explorer. Go to package.json, copy dev dependency and dependency into yours, and do npm install so that it will install all the dependency. You can get the syntax, which I will upload in the link of this video description. Once you are done with package.json, you recall that I installed two plugins into Visual Studio, the ESLint and Prettier. So create a file called ESLint-rc, which is the configuration file for ESLint. Now include all this syntax into your ESLint-rc. And there are some important options that you need to know. First, the extend option, which contains various plugins as part of ESLint. The Airbnb plugins, where they have their own set of best practices when coding with JavaScript. So giving you an example, they provide practices when using arrow functions. So one of the use case is that arrow function makes your code more impact compared to the normal functions. And they also provide other kinds of practices as well. If you are curious, you can look through it in their documentations. ESLint recommended will lint any common JavaScript error. Plugin React will lint anything related to React. Prettier to Prettier as well. So include all these plugins for React. For each plugins that you include in ESLint, they contains a set of rules where you can configure yourself. So for example, let's see how does JSX uses React impact in ESLint. It indicates whether or not you are importing redundant module, which is quite useful. If there are any specific rules that you do not want to include in it, you can provide a auth values to exclude it. And create a ESLint noin file and add this 3 line in, so that it would not display any unnecessary error, which is kind of irritating at times. After that, create a BABEL RC class which contain all the configuration for BABEL. So for some of you who don't know what is a BABEL, BABEL help to convert ES6 JavaScript syntax into ES5 because right now our web browser only support ES5. So if we were to wait longer, the web browser might support ES6, and in the future we would not need to include BABEL in our project. So in the preset, you add two presets. So you add BABEL preset env and BABEL preset React. This will help to convert ES6 to ES5. Next, include two plugins: plugins syntax dynamic import and plugin transform React JSX. So dynamic import support importing modules dynamically using promises, and React transform JSX will do with React JSX itself. Next, you add React Hot Loader BABEL that support hot reload when making changes to your application, which I will talk about how you're going to add it in your project later on. So now create a source folder and also create two more files inside your source folder: index.js and index.html. So in your index.js, include all this to set up a minimal React application. Next, do the same for index.html as well. Once you are done, create a file called webpack.config.js. This contains all your configuration related to Webpack. In your webpack.config.js, include these four modules in your config file. For the last two modules, it's needed for you to start a development server with hot reloading features. Next, include module.exports and all the syntax inside. You can get the syntax in this video description below, which I will upload in GitHub. For the mode, you can set it to either development mode or production mode. Production mode compiles your project to a smaller size. Development mode allows you to make changes much efficient compared to production. Next, the entry option. Tell Webpack where your entry file is. So in this case, it is index.js inside your source folder. For the output, you tell Webpack where to split the file once your index.js is compiled. So in this case, it is in this directory, which is provided inside this path properties. So once it is compiled, the name of the file will be called the name of the file itself, .bundle.js, and this file can be accessed in the root URL that is based by public path property. Next, include dev-server option, which set up hot reload for development server. Open and hot enables hot reload and also automatically open the browser when you start the application. So it is in port 8080. Next, include hot module replacement plugins, which is part of hot reloads. HMR Webpack plugins is also needed for Webpack-dev-server. The module options tell Webpack what kinds of loader you include, such as, in this case, BABEL loader that help to compile ES6 to ES5, and the test property means that it is only applied to JS or JSX file. It is based by regex expression. So this is only applied to the source folder because that is where we write our JavaScripts. The options hash directory through will speed up hot reload because over time, when you're developing your project, the time for hot reload will keep increasing. So this is really useful. Now go to package.json. Include this syntax in your package.json. So once you're done, the start property tells Webpack to start a Webpack-dev-server using the configuration file for webpack.config.js. Once you are done, go to terminal and type npm run start. This will start off the dev server and also open a web browser. So you just have to wait for a while. So now the Webpack will compile the entry file and serve it as bundle.js. Now our web app is displayed in the browser. As you can see, there is no file generated in the this directory because Webpack-dev-server serve file in the memory. So you can view it in localhost 8080 and type Webpack-dev-server. So there you can see that all this file generated is in the memory. So now let's try making changes to our app. So I try to make changes, I save, and you can see the browser automatically reload and show the changes due to hot reloading that's provided by Webpack-dev-server. Now, if you recall earlier that I mentioned that I want to explain about hot reloads. So what we have went through earlier is that any changes made will cause the web browser itself to refresh and display the changes. However, there is something called hot module reload that displays changes without refreshing the web browser. This will speed up your development process. So let's get to it. The step to do this is very easy. So first, you import hot from React Hot Loader /root. After that, put the render function inside the hot method and save the file. Next, go to webpack.config.js and add another value in the entry array. So you add red/hotloader patch. Once you're done, save the file. Since this is a web config.js, you will need to rerun the application. So stop the application in terminal and type npm run start again. Let's wait for it. Okay, now our React app has started. So let's make some changes and see whether the web browser will refresh or not. So after making changes, you will see that the web browser indeed doesn't need to refresh at all. So now we managed to set up React and Webpack in less than 15 minutes, which takes me around 1 to 2 days during my first attempt in trying to figure out and glue everything together. I hope that you guys enjoy the video. I will be talking about code splitting in the next video to optimize web performance. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And to support me further, I have linked my PayPal in this description below. Thanks for watching. Bye.